Magnetic field due to a magnetic dipole at a point on an equatorial line, which turns out to be B is equal to nu naught by 4 pi m divided by r cube. Torque is equal to, it's a rotating force, no? So it is force into the perpendicular distance. Diamagnetic substance is a substance which are repelled by the magnet. Hello everyone, I am Brinda, Faculty of Physics, welcoming you all to session 1 of chapter 5, and chapter name is Magnetism and Matter. In today's class, we are going to study about magnetism and its properties, components, like what we use for a concept called as a magnet. So here we have the bar magnet, which we will consider in this chapter. We will take this as a reference and calculate the respective properties or the components of the magnet. So here we have a bar magnet which is having two poles. Usually, even if you cut into half, one side will act as north pole, the other side will act as south pole. So this is how exactly the picture of a bar magnet which you can actually see, and how is the magnetic field lines passing through it. As electric charges are having the presence of electric field, similarly a magnet will have the presence of magnetic field surrounding the magnet. So how exactly the magnetic field lines surround it? Always remember, these arrow mark notation is very much important, and this concept you will have to understand in order to give a applicative level questions or solve the applicative level questions. So here we have north pole, south pole. Always direction of the magnetic field lines is away from the north pole towards the south pole. It moves away from the north pole and it always moves towards the south pole, which is represented with the help of these arrow marks. So now, having these two as a base, there is certain set of derivations which is very important from this chapter. So let us just see a few of the expressions. These expressions are the one which you have to refer and which you have to know. Magnetic field line at a distance from a magnetic pole, that is B is equal to nu naught by 4 pi qm divided by r square, taking the Biot-Savart's law concepts into an account. From moving charges magnetism, the equations are carried towards magnetism and matter as well. So here we have magnetic field due to magnetic dipole at a point on a axial line, for which we have B is equal to nu naught by 4 pi, which is said to be a constant, whose value is 10 to the power of minus 7, and you have 2m divided by r square. Finally, you have a magnetic field due to a magnetic dipole at a point on an equatorial line, which turns out to be B is equal to nu naught by 4 pi m divided by r cube. Okay, these are the set of concepts what you will have to just analyze the equations. And next you have bar magnet as a equivalent solenoid. How exactly it acts as a equivalent solenoid? So you have a solenoid over here. From this solenoid, you will have to consider the element, that is a gray element, which is named as dx, and the distance from O to this element is said to be x, is what you have to know. The length, half of the length of this is known as L, and the complete length is known as 2 times the length of the half length. So it is 2L. Okay, so that is all about your descriptions over here, and there is certain set of point P which the things, concepts are measured over here. Okay, so first of all we have to check what is that is bar magnet, whether it acts equivalent to a solenoid or what. Solenoid is the one which is having n number of turns in a coil. This is called as a solenoid. Okay, so now the solenoid will be with respect to the polarities, that will be attached to certain set of polarities, that is called as a solenoid, is a coil structure. Similarly, we have to check whether the bar magnet acts equivalent to that of a solenoid, for which we will consider an equation, that is, first of all, B is equal to nu naught by 4 pi 2 pi I r square divided by r square plus a square the whole 3 by 2. Okay, so now since the solenoid is having n number of turns or n number of turns in the coil, then you can just add 1n over here. So after which distance from the center to a point P is said to be r. So now here r square, this r square becomes r minus x square, that is the component from the line elemental here. If you have to check, r minus x the whole square. So for what we have, b is equal to nu naught by 4 pi 2 pi I r square, the radius, it turns out to be from here to here, it turns out to be a. So I can write this as a square divided by r square plus a square, r is r minus x. So it is r minus x the whole square plus a square, and the whole, it is multiplied with respect to 3 by 2, and we have this n term. N is with respect to a elemental area, so it is n into dx is the thickness. We are checking the n number of turns in this thickness, no? So we will have to write n into dx. So just evaporating these terms, that is, you have r minus x square plus a square, everything will get inside 3 by 2. So 2 cancels with respect to everything. So we have r cube minus x cube plus a cube. So now if this r is very much greater than these two concepts, and then it cancels with this because these two can be equated. So approximately this value will become equal to r cube. So the same equation can be placed here. So you have b is equal to nu naught by 4 pi 2 pi I, and you have a square n into dx divided by r minus x the whole square becomes r cube, and this the complete set becomes r cube. So having this set, this is just the set of certain line element. If suppose we considered the complete whole set from this length to this length, then it is minus L and plus L, because this is 0. So if this is plus L, this turns out to be minus L. So we have to put the limits between these two things, and we will have to integrate it. In order to integrate this, we will have to look after the concepts, and we have limits from plus L and to minus L just for your reference, and then we can just integrate it as integration of dB is equal to integration of nu naught by 4 pi 2 pi n dx I a square divided by r cube. Okay, these are the set of equations. This equation's limits a is minus L to plus L, again minus L to plus L. So on integrating it, we have integration, the constant term will have to come out 4 pi 2 pi n I a square divided by r cube. So integration of minus L to plus L, and we have dx. On integrating these set, you have b is equal to nu naught by 4 pi 2 pi n I a square by r cube. So integration from minus L to plus L, integrating it as x from minus L to plus L. On having the same concept, b is equal to nu naught by 4 pi 2 pi n I a square divided by r cube. You have to equate all these concepts. So it becomes plus L minus of minus L. So it becomes, this becomes is equal to 2 times that of L. That is what you can see here. So we can finally equate this as b is equal to nu naught by 4 pi 2 pi n I a square divided by r cube into 2 times the L. So 2 becomes 4. It is V is equal to nu naught by 4 pi n I square A square and L divided by R cube. With respect to this components and with respect to the magnetic dipole moment, the complete equation turns out to be finally B is equal to nu naught by 4 pi 2m divided by R cube. This is a dipole moment. So this is the final expression and one of the important concept. By this we will get to know that the bar magnet acts as a equivalent solenoid. So first what are you supposed to do? First get this set of equation and then finally integrate like this, having this as the main concept. Okay. So the next concept is torque on a magnetic dipole, that is bar magnet in a uniform magnetic field. So there is a supply of uniform magnetic field which is represented by vector B, and there is a magnet which is placed here with respect to N, north pole, and this is a south pole. There is a certain force which is moving here. So force as well as this is the force. Two forces are there, MB as well as MB. The distance between north pole as the south pole is called as 2L, and there is an angle, certain angle with respect to the force as well as field lines which is being made. So now let us just name this point as A vector for our reference now. We have north, south, and this is our point A, and B is the magnetic field. So first of all, what is the torque? According to general terms, torque is equal to, it's a rotating force, no? So it is force into the perpendicular distance. Because perpendicularly it is having its rotation with respect to the magnetic field lines. These dotted lines are the imaginary concepts. So torque is given in terms of tau is equal to, what is the force? It's a general force. It is MB, and a perpendicular distance is known as into NA. Usually we go with the respect to the horizontal component, we go with respect to sine theta with respect to magnetic field. So now as we know, there is an angle called as sine theta, and what is sine theta? It is opposite by hypotenuse. So which is opposite now? So this is our opposite, this is our adjacent, this is our hypotenuse. So when this is the concept, we have opposite by hypotenuse. So opposite is NA, hypotenuse is SN. So we have this equation as NA by SN. So take SN towards sine theta. So NA value will become NA is equal to SN sine theta. Substituting this equation in equation 1, we have tau is equal to MB into SN sine theta. So what is this SN? It is 2L. So tau is equal to MB into 2L sine theta. So this MB is nothing but the charge, the moving charges is producing magnetism. So this can be termed as QM as well. So finally we have QM. So QM into 2L gives you magnetic moment which is called as M. So MB sine theta you have, because since QM into 2 times L is nothing but magnetic dipole moment. So this is the final expression, that is MB what it gives, but exactly this is having a magnetic dipole moment. So for your reference you can just add a Q over here. So we have tau is equal to MB sine theta. So this can be written in terms of vector notation as M into vector B. On the removal of your vector notation, you have a trigonometric function called as sine theta. So that is all about your torque on a magnetic dipole. This is also one of the most important component which you have to remember. Next we are moving on to Gauss law in magnetism. Again this law holds an important role from which we just use for the respective MCQs or any of the sorts. So we have the net magnetic flux. Whatever flux is passing through a area, through any closed surface, is equal to 0. This is one of the most important component you have to remember. Same like that of your Gauss law in electrostatics, but here you are checking out in magnetism, where the magnetic flux which is moving through any closed surface is always said to be 0. Okay. So next we have magnetization or intensity of magnetization. The amount of flux which is moving from a unit volume is said to be the magnetization or intensity of a magnetization. So you have magnetization M is nothing but net magnet per unit volume is said to be your magnetization. So as usual, with the help of expression itself, you can give a definition as well to it. Define this magnetization concept, or it is also called as intensity of magnetization. Next we have some of the magnetic properties of material. Whenever this magnetic properties of material comes into picture, which are those properties? Those properties are, you have three sets. One is diamagnetic property, other one is the partial type, paramagnetic, and another one is ferromagnetic substance. So dia, para as well as ferromagnetic substance are the three substances. So what exactly happens diamagnetic substance, what exactly happens in paramagnetic substance, and what exactly happens in ferromagnetic substance? If you just have to check, then what is the diamagnetic substance? Diamagnetic substance are the substance which are repelled by the magnet. Okay, so we can see it is repelled. Paramagnetic substance are the one which are weakly attracted by the magnets, and ferromagnetic are the substance which are strongly attracted by the magnets. Okay, so this is first set of difference what you will have to know. These are the properties. So if you just make a note like this, it is very easy for you to understand what is dio, what is para, what is ferro without any doubt. Okay, so next is, if it is repelled, it has to move from weaker section, right? So the magnetic field lines move from stronger field to a weaker field, move towards weaker field. Here it moves towards strong. Here also towards strong. And now this is about the field lines, these two. And next going on to dipole moment. The dipole moment in diamagnetic is said to be 0. In para, the dipole moment is said to be, it is having a small value of a dipole moment, where in case of ferro, the dipole moment is said to be permanent. Okay, so that is the difference of dia, para, ferro, again with respect to dipole moment. And susceptibility, here it is a negative value. Here the susceptibility is positive value. Here the susceptibility turns out to be greater than the positive value. This is how exactly it goes with susceptibility. And finally we come to an end, that is examples of all such things. So example of a diamagnetic substance goes out to be a copper or a superconductors. And in case of paramagnetic substance, the example turns out to be oxygen and aluminium. In terms of ferromagnetic substance, once we get to know it is strongly attracted, the normal thing which we can see in our daily life is said to be iron. So you can just write iron over here and wind up this concept. All these are the important factors that you have to know with respect to dia, ferro as well as paramagnetic substance. With the help of these concepts, you'll have your comprehensive type of questions and all. So that is all about your magnetic properties of materials in brief. So in today's class, we have studied the chapter Magnetism and Matter. Let us all meet in our next upcoming session. Until then, have a good day. Thank you.